In today's video, I take on the Doomsday Machines in Space Empires 4X solo mode. Hope you'll join me for this playthrough here on Legendary Tactics. Now, this game of Space Empires 4X is going to be taking place on Board Game Arena. At the moment, they have a beta version that is free to play, and they have the solo version as well. So you can actually play against the Doomsday Machines entirely by yourself. You can play against other players. It's a pretty neat implementation, actually, of this game, and I'm pretty excited about where this could go. Anyway, so I haven't actually played the solo game before. I'd read about it. But this is actually my first game, and I've played a few games of Space Empires now, but this is my first attempt against the Doomsday Machines. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the game, Space Empires 4X is a 4X game. By that, I mean explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. So kind of developing your civilization. And so the opening moves in this are pretty standard. You're moving your scouts out to explore your home system. The colony ships I like to send them out even before we know we have a planet, because I know that they will turn up, and then we can begin to colonize them. And so we're going to colonize Vulcan here, and that's going to build us our first colony and keep expanding outwards. The miners are going to pick up the minerals, which happen to be surrounding my homeworld. So that's a nice thing. The minerals give us extra resources to buy ships and to research technology. So as you can see, the interface is pretty smooth. It's generally more playable on a tablet or even a phone. The clicking of clicking around doesn't seem to work quite as well as the tablets do, but at any rate, I can't colonize Polaris because it's a barren world. So I can't remember why, or maybe I'd have to double check to see. It didn't look like it was. So. And so as the scope of this game widens, I'm going to have to zoom out because just so you can see all the action. Now in the solo version, well, in the multiplayer version, I'll start there. The multiplayer version, you have your own home system where it's relatively safe to explore. There's one black hole out there that you might run into. It could cause some problems, but otherwise it's a pretty safe place to explore. And I'm just gonna buy my my stuff here. It's after 3 turns of movement we have an economic phase, and so that's what I'm doing now, is doing some research and building another miner in my homeworld planet, so I can get 2 miners going to get as many minerals as possible and as quickly as possible. So in the multiplayer game, as I was saying, you have your home system to explore. It's pretty safe, and then you can explore the tiles which are white. You can see them on the screen there, and they are deep space, a lot more risky, potentially some higher rewards, but it's a lot riskier to explore. So I'm not going to do that, but at any rate, what we're going to do is just take the first few turns to essentially get my economy set up. In the solo game with the Doomsday, against the Doomsday Machines, they are coming, and they will be arriving at some point. I believe it's after the 6th turn. And after that point, they begin a slow march to crush your civilization. So the first 6 full turns are all about exploring, getting your economy set up as efficiently as possible, and building some big ships to ward off the Doomsday Machines. And there's 3 of them. The first one that arrives is reasonably tough. The second one is pretty darn tough, and the last one is the big boss. So I'm not too worried right now about developing any fleets yet. I'm going to get my economy set up and channel all my resources into into developing all the planets, all the colonies around me, and making sure I'm harvesting all the minerals as efficiently as possible, and using the scouts to make sure we explore the home system as quickly as possible, find where the planets are, find where the minerals are, and get everything ready to go for for when the Doomsday Machines turn up. Now, what I am also looking to do is to establish a couple of bases. I don't know exactly the Doomsday Machines, how they advance, but I know it's kind of just a straight march, essentially. So I know a little bit about what to expect. And so I want to find some planets that can be kind of advanced bases. I need to build some shipyards in some colonies. And there we've got Discovery and Vulcan. Actually looks like the two planets that might be best for that advanced base. But I want to build some shipyards there so I can build some ships that can start out right at the front, as opposed to having to ship them from the back in my homeworld there, which takes time. And I want to make sure I can group as many of these I group my fleet as much as possible towards the front, so that way I can make sure to take on the Doomsday Machine. If it does get through, I do have potentially a bit of time before it comes into my homeworld, where it will cause some damage. But at least I've got that as my fallback position. Now, my scout just discovered the black hole there. You can see that bright yellow circle there. It's always a risk when you hit a black hole. You have a 60% chance of surviving it, and I did, luckily. You roll the dice, and anything from 1 to 6 is survival, 7 to 10 is your ship is lost. So luckily I was able to survive that. That's the only dangerous space in my home system. So I know all the other spaces within my home system, the ones that are tinted blue, are safe to explore. Now, I am building colony ships big time. I want to make sure I set up colonies on every planet that I can get that income going. And you may have noticed the merchant ship. I am playing with the advanced pieces as well, so it's not a basic game. I think they just recently added the advanced pieces as well. So I'm also building up a merchant ship network, and that is beneficial. It allows ships to move more quickly along the routes formed by the merchant ships, and it also, when they connect to a colony, it boosts their production by 1 construction point per turn, which is my main reason for getting them. I really want to boost my production. I need to have the funds to research larger ships and build some larger ships as quickly as possible. So I'm going to do this as efficiently as I can. And so that involves setting up some merchant shipping lanes, which I don't have the resources now to do that, or the ships yet, but should have those up and running more or less next turn. There's lots of minerals around. There's a nebula. Nebula negates defensive technology, and the kind of the Earth-like space. It almost looks like Earth from a distance, from the view from space. Those are asteroids. Those negate attack benefits. So really, in this kind of situation, it may make sense to actually ambush the Doomsday Machine in, say, a nebula where it might be more vulnerable. So I got to keep that in mind. We'll see if I can pull that off. It kind of depends on where the Doomsday Machine ends up and whether it happens to stroll through a nebula. At any rate, I'm just, as I said, expanding my network, and really, like, probably for an observer, this doesn't look like the most interesting of kind of things, because essentially I'm just loading up minerals, expanding, landing colony ships on planets, and building out my merchant fleet. Now, I am going to also send my scouts out to explore deep space. I don't imagine that these scouts, even when I upgrade them, will be that much use in battle. And I'm hoping to maybe hit a jackpot, maybe find a space wreck, which I can tow back to either a colony or my homeworld, get some free tech, or I can maybe discover some extra mineral deposits. I don't know if you can see it very well there, but the scout that is the closest to the bottom of the screen just walked into a space with 10 minerals as opposed to the usual 5. So it's a pretty rich mineral deposit there that I can grab. So once my home system is fully explored, I see those scouts as pretty much disposable. Again, I'm hoping that I discover some either planets maybe or something useful that I can colonize at some point. Okay, I found a supernova that bumps me back to the space I came from. No harm done there. There's not... It's exploring the deep space part is pretty risky. There's a lot of spaces that just say danger, and that blows up whatever ships you send in there. So that's gonna happen. There's not a lot to that I can do to avoid that. But I'm hoping that I can get some minerals, maybe some extra, maybe a shipwreck. That'd be awesome. Get some free tech, that sort of thing. So now I'm building out my merchant ship fleet. I need another colony ship as well. And at the moment, I'm trying to think of exactly, I just upgrading my ship size tech, which allows me to build additional ships. Beyond that, I don't see anything else I really need. So I'm going to maybe carry over 7 construction points, or CPs as they're known. But on another, I was gonna do that, but then I think building a shipyard in Vulcan will allow me to build ships there eventually. And as I said, I'm looking for a bit of a forward base here against the Doomsday Machines when they arrive. So, but I still have some time here. And as I said, I'm building out the merchant ship lanes. And actually, it's really neat. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but there's a little white line. Once you've connected a colony to your homeworld, that gives you the bonus CPs, construction points. It draws a little line to connect them all. I thought that was a really nice touch. It just lets you know that the program recognizes that the connection has been made, and so it gives you a nice visual, so you know exactly where you can move along, or where you can, just which colonies are connected. I think it's a really nice touch. But other than that, just kind of sending the scouts out probably to their doom, but again, hoping against hope that I discover something interesting out there in deep space. And with the 2 scouts on the bottom, they both discover danger and they both get wiped out. So again, I'm not totally heartbroken there. The scouts have fulfilled their purpose in exploring the home system and uncovering a few extra minerals. I've got one more scout there on the right. That is, I'm going to move into space there, see what I can find. And the moves go pretty quick in the solitaire game, especially you're not waiting on other opponents or anything. And I found some minerals, so that's pretty good. So I got another treasure trove there, and I'm going to settle that planet. But I think Discovery and Vulcan are in decent positions to be my forward bases. I don't know whether I should have 1 or 2, but I'll certainly build up Vulcan first, and we'll see from there, and then just keep exploring. There's also the merchant ships. Once they're in place, they kind of just end up, in most cases, just kind of sitting there because their job is to just do merchant ship kind of stuff. And I discovered a barren world in deep space, and the rules I had set with that barren worlds are defended by an alien race if they're found in deep space. And so my scout was wiped out pretty quickly by those 4 alien ships. Now, those ships don't advance or anything. They just guard their barren world. And barren worlds can't be colonized without the terraforming technology, which costs 20 CPs. It's a fairly expensive investment in this game where time is of the essence. So I'm not really going to worry about that particular that particular world, nor the one Polaris in my home system. It's just, by the time it gets up and running, it's probably not gonna pay, because it's gonna take a little while to ramp up, and it's gonna cost me not only the terraforming technology, but also the cost of the colony ships. So it's 28 CPs. It's gonna take a good while, before a good 4 rounds before that even breaks even. So I'm not too, or actually more than 4 rounds. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm just gonna let those aliens sit there. And, hey, who knows? Maybe if the Doomsday Machine wanders over their way, they'll be able to fight it off. I doubt that. But anyway, so again, still focusing on my economy, but now I'm going to have to start thinking about the fact that the Doomsday Machines are coming. And I believe I have, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is turn 13. So this is the end. This is turn 5 essentially. So I think that the first Doomsday Machine arrives. It's either next turn or the turn after that. So I don't have a lot of time left already. It's kind of interesting when you when you see it that way. I've got my economy going. I really think that if I get a lot of income, I still have a lot of minerals to go and pick up actually as well. So there's lots of opportunity there. Just a matter of getting the mining ships in the right place. But at least they're going to be able to drop off. One mining ship's going to be able to drop off a lot of minerals. Not in Polaris. Sorry, it is Discovery, I think that planet's called. It's hard to read. And Vulcan as well is reasonably close to the other minerals. So the miners will do what they do, dropping off and picking up minerals, and we're going to set up all these links. You see all the lines appearing. I think it's such a neat way of doing it. You can see the whole setup and how the merchant ships connect. Now, the merchant ships, in the end, as I said, this is my first solitaire game. They may not actually be valuable in a sense, because they do provide the extra points for the colonies. But if you actually add up the costs involved, I've built, so far, I've built 6 of them. So that's 18 CPs. So if they're connecting 4 colonies, I guess, at the moment. So it may be not the best investment in retrospect. It's just something that I typically like to do, as most players do. If you're playing the multiplayer game, you're going to want to have the merchant ships. They're so valuable, but it may not have been the best investment. I'm going to invest also in attack technology and defense technology. I have read a little bit about some ideas on strategy, and for the most part, what seems to be recommended is to get the ship size technology up to the point where you can build battle cruisers. And once you are at that level, which I think is level 4, if I'm not mistaken, just off the top of my head, then once you're at that point, then you can build battle cruisers and just build them, just spam them essentially with all the defense and attack factors that you can get. I'm also going to make sure to invest in at least one level of tactics, just to make sure I get the advantage. I get to shoot first every time. These Doomsday Machines are going to be tough. There's no question. And you'll see their stats when they arrive. Again, still building out the merchant ship situation might be a waste of time. Likely is, but it's something that I think is normally a good strategy, but in this game it's almost a race against time. And in retrospect, it's a number of, even though I recoup a lot of the CPs over time, it's not really going to be worth it in the end. I don't think. It's much better just to build, get those minerals harvested, and build battle cruisers, or maybe even battleships, and just boost them with attack and defense technology. In many ways, this solo game is, I think, more of a training game than anything else. I don't know if it's exactly the best game, in many ways. I mean, it's kind of an interesting challenge, but I have a feeling that it's something that has a very prescribed play in general. There may be some variation with where the planets turn up and where the nebulas turn up and that sort of thing. There may be some sort of strategy with positioning and that kind of thing, but probably this plays out in a fairly predictable way. And so I would actually view it more as a training scenario than anything else. But if nothing else, this video highlights the interface that you can play Space Empires with, and it's a really nice interface. I really have come to appreciate what they're trying to do, and it's very smooth. In fact, one of the neat things is if you are playing multiplayer, if you haven't connected any of your home systems, so in other words, you're still in the early stage of the game, you're exploring your home system, you can actually essentially move simultaneously, because it doesn't actually matter until there's a lane opened and through some deep space exploration. You don't actually need to worry about what your opponents are up to. So it allows you to kind of play simultaneously, and then suddenly once the battle is joined, so to speak, then it goes to more turn-based kind of play, because it will matter who goes first and who goes second and so forth. So it's kind of a neat thing. So I'm building my first battle cruisers here, and hopefully that will be the beginnings of a large fleet. I don't really have a lot of time actually before the Doomsday machines begin to approach here, so I've got to get my fleet going. And as I said, I think the merchant ships, maybe it's worth building, I don't know, one or two. If you got some planets that are super close, it might be worth doing. But I wonder if it's better just to not focus on them at all, and unless you've got some easy pickings, like maybe, if you have a planet right next door, maybe, or if you're looking to speed up transportation between where you are in the front lines where the Doomsday machines are arriving, there could be some use for them. And again, I was kind of playing a multiplayer game when I think I should have been playing a solo game. So not that it's totally wrong-headed, but I think in this kind of game where it's much more of a race, I think you have to just focus on the main thing, and you don't have a lot of time to build up these kind of things. But as I said, there may be a case for it if you're looking to take advantage of the shipbuilding on your home world, the capacity of the shipyards there, and just to reinforce some of your forward base worlds. I think that would be probably a good use of those merchant ship pipelines. The other thing that I was thinking as well, I don't know if it makes sense to just turtle in your home world, essentially set everything up, collect all the resources you can, but essentially build up in your home world and wait for the Doomsday machines to hit. Now, this may cost you some colonies because the Doomsday machine is going to walk through some of them on the way to the homeworld. However, it may be also the best strategy in that you don't have to spend a lot of the construction points on, doing a lot of, setting up merchant ship pipelines or building shipyards and your forward bases and so forth. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a better idea to build up a homeworld and maybe one colony that's very, very close by, something like Andromeda is for me here. Not sure. So if you have any advice, though, I'd be happy to hear about it in the comments. I may not have, being my first game, I don't know if I played exactly the best possible way, but I don't think I did anything absolutely crazy. I boosted my attack and defense once again, so get that boosted up, building some battle cruisers and maybe another pipeline. But I guess my view was I just wanted to have as much sort of infrastructure in place to give me as much income as I could have, so that when the Doomsday Machines started arriving, that I had the income to buy replacement ships. And especially if I could, if I had the 2 forward bases there, I thought, well, hey, maybe that would be something that would be helpful. Anyway, so I've got couple other scouts there, just exploring, seeing what I can grab. I'm not sure if there's much out there. We'll see. And when we choose the end of turn here, I was thinking about sending out the battle cruisers and I was joining them up actually, but I was thinking about sending them out to explore the to be out front of the base, but my forward base planet there, Vulcan, but turned out not to be a good idea. The one scout found some minerals, and the one scout found an alien planet with a barren planet. So, and again, maybe it wasn't the best idea to build a couple scouts. I was thinking it might be okay. Again, if you get lucky, end up with a space wreck, there might be a nice boost to your technology that you can take advantage of and save some money with. But as it is, we'll just harvest. We got a lot of actually there's another 10 minerals there, so that scout more than paid for itself, I think, in finding those extra minerals. There's certainly a bunch of them. So that and there found some other minerals. So yeah, I can't totally fault the scout strategy and finding some extra income for me. That'll keep things going. But I don't have a massive fleet yet, and that's a big concern. So I'm hoping that I've got a little bit more time here. And I may have been mistaken. Maybe it's at the end of turn. We're at the end of turn 8 here. Maybe that's the turn where the Doomsday Machine turns up. I know it's very soon, and it happens as soon as it arrives. It's game on. You feel you're under the gun. So it's a neat little scenario. But the other thing that's nice about this as an interface, you can play. You can play in real time with other players, or you can play a turn-based setup where you do your move and your opponent does their move when they have a spare moment, and so you can play out a game that way. So it's quite nice, and of course the rules reinforcement is always good. You're not going to be able to do something that isn't allowed, which is very helpful, So what am I buying here? It looks like I'm buying a scout and the scout was a bad move. I've upgraded my ship size now to the point where I have up to 5, which is now battleships. Again, not sure if that's the best move. I think maybe spamming battle cruisers in retrospect might be the best move, and it maybe, as I said, might have been better for me to hang back around Andromeda and just essentially spam battle cruisers and build up a whole bunch of them with the best attack and defense technology I could muster, and just hope that can hold out. But battleships are also pretty darn useful. The extra hit point, they've got a little more staying power in battle, which is great. And they're not really, I mean, the technology costs a little bit. Oh, there's a glimpse of the Doomsday Machine. It has arrived. But I was just saying the battleships are actually a really nice, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're not crazy, other than building the ship size. So you can see there that, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a 9, or I believe, sorry, it's hard to see, but I think it's an 8 -1. So defense -1. I think it had. I'll have to double check that. I'm sorry, it's a little bit too small on the screen I'm using, but the Doomsday Machine is pretty powerful, as you'll soon find out. It is, and it just begins this relentless advance. So the the pressure is on to be able to defend against it. So, and really, I wasn't totally prepared for for what it was going to, how fast it was going to move, and it really does put a lot of pressure on you when it's beginning to march slowly towards you. So it's got a lot of hit points as well. So it's not an easy thing to defend against, but I guess that's just the way it is. So I'm just taking a quick glance here. I think because of the one that I chose, the level that I chose, I think this is a C8 attack strength, defense strength 2, and hull size is 7, and number of attacks is 4. So it is not. I chose, I think, this is on normal level, so it's not on a crazy high Doomsday Machine level, because this was my first game. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If it isn't that one, it'll be a C7 with defense strength 1, 7 hull size again, and 4 attacks again. So that's not going to be easy any way you slice it. So it's beginning its relentless march, and I'm not exactly sure which way it's going to go, but I'm pretty sure it just heads towards the nearest planet. So I think Vulcan is where it's going to end up. And I have an economic phase coming up now. I moved my ships out. I thought, well, maybe I'll defend a little bit out ahead of my colony, and then I thought, you know what, no, I got to pull back. The shipyards have their own defensive strength as well, and so even though I may not want to lose them, they will also add in the defense of the planet there. So I know exactly where this Doomsday Machine is headed. It is headed to the planet Vulcan. So, and we'll get a glance at it. As I said, I think it's a C8, but the print is really small. It was very clear in the game that I played, but it may actually be a B9 to defense strength 8 hull size, and even 5 attacks. So yeah, they go up all the way to A11, which is crazy. Means they are almost guaranteed to hit. They always attack first. You can use a defense 3 to get it down to like 8 or less. So they're going to hit 80% of the time. Defense strength 4, hull size 11, and number of attacks is 6, which is just crazy. That thing's going to mulch through pretty much anything I think I could throw at it. You have to have so much luck in order to win. But it's one of those things where I was kind of building just to put everything but the kitchen sink in there. So I built a base, which now that I knew where the Doomsday Machine is headed, once you know that for sure, I think buying a base is a great purchase. And then also a battle cruiser and a scout, just because that used up the last, a destroyer used up the last hull point. I think it's either a scout or it might be a scout. But yeah, just kind of building up my fleet and just hoping for the best at this point, because who knows what could happen. I'm actually going to evacuate my merchant ship there to get him out of there, just to save him for next time. I've got a scout there that's not going to be able to make it to the battle in time, I don't think, but I'm sure will come in handy for the second Doomsday Machine arriving. And we're dropping off minerals. The last minerals that I may get to, there's still another 10, so I may get that last mineral there, provided there's not a Doomsday Machine bearing down on me. And yeah, just making sure I've got everything in place. There's not much I can do. I'm building up on the home world because I had the extra money, but I did not have the shipyards in Vulcan to do anything. So there's no point in screening any ships, I don't think. I want them all in the battle. Luckily, I have some tactics. So you can see it is the B9 -2 defense, a 5 hull points and 8 hull points and a 5 numbers of attacks. So that is a level 5 Doomsday Machine out of 10. So it just chewed through all my shipyards and through all my lesser ships, and now my battle cruisers. So I've got my battleships left in my base. I only need a couple more hits. I get one, and the base shoots, and we got it. Now that was at a reasonably high cost. Again, I lost all my shipyards, and I lost my destroyer and battle cruiser and stuff. So I survived with some ships still kicking. I don't know why I'm sending them out exactly, but just to push out there. And I guess what I was thinking here, if I recall, was I wasn't sure what the path the next Doomsday Machine was going to take. So I wanted to have them in a spot where I could kind of anticipate where they might go. Once I knew that, then I could deploy them appropriately. But other than that, I really didn't know what to expect. So still sending out miners to do what I can, and not much else to do at this point. Now the second one just turned up, and this one is the next level up. So this will be level 6. It's a B9. So again, pretty good at even with my -3 defense, it's still going to hit 6 or less. 3 defense strength, which means my attack bonus is essentially nullified, and hull size 9 and number of attacks 5. So this one is not going to be fun to battle either. So I'm just even though it looks like it could be the B10. It's hard to read a bit, but it could be the level 7 one, the B10, defense strength 3. It's a little hard to see. So I'm running my miner there, grabbing the minerals, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it back to my colony in time. But at least we know where the Doomsday Machine is headed at this point. It looks like it's headed to my other forward base. Now the shipyards aren't as developed there. I don't have, I think, if I recall, I think I have maybe 2 shipyards built there, maybe 3. So I can build maybe 1 battleship, but it's not going to be as helpful because Vulcan was built up to 4, and you could do a bunch with those 4 shipyards. But I can see exactly where the Doomsday Machine is headed, and it's just going to start marching through. And I've only got 3 turns before it hits. So I will have an economic phase. I will be able to build something. But I'm not sure. Well, I did. Oh, yes, I did buy the movement, the bonus there, the speed technology, movement technology. So I was able to zip that ship from my homeworld to the planet. Now, if I was thinking, I would have sent it along the merchant ship route, because I could have gotten to the planet in one go, but it won't matter in the end. So again, looking at my opportunities here, I figure I'm going to have to spend on attack technology. That's going to be a must. I've got a fair amount of income here, so it's not too bad, but I'm going to have to build... Oh, I had 3 shipyards up in I think it's Odyssey, my forward base there, which is the target of the Doomsday device. So I can build a battleship there, better than nothing in the end, but really I'm going to have to see what I can do between all the ships. Now I did boost my attack as well, and building another battle cruiser back at my home world. Won't be there in time, but again, there's after this Doomsday Machine, there is yet another behind, and that is the last in the scenario, but it's the big boss, so it's going to be rough. All these ships are arriving literally at the last second. My miner is hopefully going to be able to deliver those minerals. We'll see. And I'm sending over this scout. There's not a lot that I can do maybe to get there in time, but we'll see. Just moving around the miners. There's not much for them to do right now. There's no minerals left to pick up and deliver. So we're it's going to be a big battle at my forward base. I do not really have much left behind that line, so we'll see where things end up. Doomsday Machine advances, and I'm essentially putting everyone in the base. I'm evacuating my merchant ships, getting them out of there, and the miner has got some time. Perhaps I guess it doesn't really matter, but I was just gonna, maybe I should have just run it into the colony and dropped it off. It won't honestly matter at this point. There's no minerals left, but I never want to trash any of my ships. And here's the big battle. So it is indeed B10 -3. So this is the level 7, 9 hull size, and 6 number of attacks. So it is going to start chewing through a bunch of stuff. And just looking at this again now, I realize I probably should have built a base actually on this. I don't know why I didn't. I know I meant to. But anyway, we've got four hits on it already, and 5 hits. So we're holding up. Oh, just chewed through another battleship. Now it gets harder. I need hits because this is not going to... with 2 ships left, there's only so much damage I can do, and they churn through. I got 1 hit left on this guy, and then boom, done. And there goes my colony, there goes everything. So I was thinking, do I attack it? I don't think so, because it has actually repaired some of its damage. So now I realize I'm in trouble here. I do have an economic phase coming up. I will be able to build a bit of infrastructure, build up a little bit of stuff, but basically the Doomsday Machine, I don't have enough forces for a counterattack, which could potentially destroy it. And I don't know if the base necessarily would have come in. I mean, certainly if it had gotten another hit or two, that may have made the difference, but at any rate, I know I'll be building a base on my home world. That'll be for sure. And it heals another 2 hull points. So it's going to essentially come in at my home world at full strength. So that is not good. I've maxed out my attack and defense. I'm building another battleship in the home world there, but it's not gonna be enough. I've got nowhere else to build in my little civilization. So the best I can do is either build maybe a destroyer or a base, and that's about it. None of the technology is really going to help. You know, I've got some money, but just nothing to... I've got no shipyards to build with, so that's just not... that's not good. So I actually upgraded my shipyards technology, and that allowed me to build an additional ship there, a battle cruiser. I think it was that's 2 battle cruisers, I think, there is what I was able to build. So, no, it's a, sorry. Yeah, it's a, anyway, I was just looking to build a base, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'll build a base on Andromeda, and that way at least I can have something, some sort of defense anyway. It may not be much, but probably a waste of money in that case. And there really wasn't a heck of a lot of choice of what I could get. I didn't have a lot of money, so I built a destroyer, and we're done. The movement essentially is, you know, basically do what I can, throw what I can into Andromeda to defend it, and get some extra minerals, the last mineral delivery of the game, and see what I can do to hold off the inevitable here. So this will be kind of my last stand. I've got nothing else here, and the last Doomsday Machine has turned up, the level 8. It's a 10 or less to hit on a 10-sided die. Defense strength 3, 10 hull size, and 6 attacks per round. So yeah, so that's coming very soon. So yeah, this is not going particularly well. I'm getting some hits here, which is great, but now the big attacks start to come on, and suddenly my luck runs dry. I'm not getting any luck with the with hits here, and it repairs 2 of those right away. I have essentially nothing left other than shipyards to defend against the Doomsday Machine, and my economic phase is not going to come in time. So there's a big battle. They don't even bother showing you the the battle. And so overall, I think I did okay. I would definitely change my play a little bit. I'd love to hear your suggestions in the comments. And hopefully you've had a chance to try this solo game and try it out on Board Game Arena. It's a great interface. See you later. This is Legendary Tactics.